Hello there, friends, and welcome back. I am Anna Prosser-Robinson, and I'm thrilled to have you here with us at Caesars Palace here in Las Vegas. This is the HyperX D2L Season 5 World Finals. How are you guys feeling right now? You look fantastic. Vegas agrees with you. You're just handsome and beautiful people sitting out there hanging out with us. I'm glad you're here. If you're just joining us, we have watched 4 teams come out of the D2L and blossom into the champions that we have seen, and they are vying for that first place spot. They will get their share of $50,000 if they can manage to win, and you know, a few consolation prizes as well in second and third and all that. And we have our loser bracket, or as we like to call it, our lower bracket. You know, nobody's a loser here, but our lower bracket finals happening right now. I've got Evil Geniuses on stage with me, as well as VP Polar. Why don't we bring the captains on? Come on, captains. Now, VP Polar unfortunately just fell to LV Gaming. And what do you think you need to do to make sure that you don't lose any more matches?
I think do not make stupid mistakes like missing skills, missing like something like easy kills or something like that.
All right, and we talked a lot about kind of mentality being a really big thing in this competition. How are you feeling like Evil Genius's mentality is right now?
I think we're okay. It's just typical day 1 EG, so we're ready for day 2.
What is a typical day with EG?
It's just struggling to make it through the tournament on day 1.
All right. Well, you guys are from the same division, so you may know each other's play styles pretty well. Do you think there are any weaknesses at Evil Geniuses that you can exploit?
Venomancer.
What's that?
Venomancer.
Venomancer. All right. What about you? Do you think there are any weaknesses you can exploit out of VP Polar?
Just hoping for some Jimmy throws.
Oh, wow. Well, guys, let's encourage them. Yell for your favorite, please. Go ahead and shake hands, guys. Good luck. Have fun. Casters, it's all up to you. AC and Tralf.
And welcome back. We're ready for our second series of the day, our next to last series of the entire tournament. EG taking on VP, both fighting for their tournament lives, Tralf. And really, I mean, VP showed us something in their last series, just came up short against LV.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, their team fight and coordination is just really impressive. The fact that they're playing with a stand-in who is Demon. We'll see if we will see some of those Jimmy throws, but he's been playing actually pretty consistently in this tournament so far. And yeah, I've touched on this point before, but to people that are just fresh and listening now, it's really impressive to see a stand-in specifically for the support role and not something like a 1 position, which seems to be a lot more easy of a transition.
A lot more interchangeable.
Yeah, a lot more interchangeable. It's a good word to put in there. So I think it's pretty impressive. They had a couple of mishaps and just like decision-making things, not so much like play or talent-wise. It was like just decision-making among the team, like F&G said, that could have really changed the outcome of the last series against LV. We'll see if they can change it up here against EG.
Well, when it comes to decision-making, no better in the business than Evil Geniuses. And speaking of, how about we take a look at how these two teams stack up, beginning with EG, our #1 seed, coming out of the Western group stage throughout earlier D2L play. They looked sharp, only dropped 1 series, but coming in, I mean, they're playing with 2 players that they're trying to integrate into this Evil Geniuses Bleed Blue lineup. Sumail, as we said, you know, you and I talked about it even after the cast yesterday. He is one of the most quietly impactful players I've seen in quite some time. AUI barely needs an introduction if you know Western Dota. Phenomenal support player. But yeah, Sumail, he, you know, there's no moment when I feel like I'm jumping out of my chair, but suddenly you look up and he's 7-2, 8-1. It just seems to always happen.
Yeah, it kind of sneaks up on you. There he is sporting that EG jersey, or actually call it just a shirt right now, but nonetheless, yeah, it does. It does kind of creep up on you. You don't think he's doing too much. There are several games, though, where it is nothing but the Sumail show. We didn't get to see him play the Storm, though, and I would really like to see how, you know, that's kind of like his star hero for me. I know he plays a lot of Magnus. It's really impressive, but there were, of course, some shaky things with you know, some server problems, whether it was server or internet, that did take a toll on some difficult heroes that he had to play, like, for instance, Sand King, which I know was a little bit out of his comfort zone to begin with.
But he shined. He shined on that Sand King when we did get a chance to see him, for the most part anyway. On the other side, it's VP Polar. 4-1 for them as well. It's very tight at the top of our final standings in the group stage. They come in 3rd position, which doesn't make sense because it should be 2 from each division, right? Well, Empire unable to make it. VP on short notice accepted the invitation to take their place. Had to leave one of their own behind, though. Lil unable to join them. And regardless, like you said, they've slid Demon into place. And just like the mercenary Demon tends to do, it's like he's always been at home. Am I right? He's looked good, and this whole team has really performed quite well.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, honestly, about VP Polar that maybe people didn't expect. It's just the consistent and clever drafting from FNG. He's not even drafting just like the most standard stuff that every team's doing. He is maybe throwing it in there a little bit, but like the last draft where they had, Illidan playing the Bristleback, that was just phenomenal. It was a very different draft. It looked like a little bit shaky for a second, but they had a plan. They executed it well, so I am impressed with FNG's drafting.
Well, we're ready to jump on into the draft. It's right around halfway done. Let's see what these two teams have in store for us. It's going to be a puck and a jugger to lead things off for Evil Geniuses, while VP snags up the Night Stalker and the Vengeful Spirit. And we saw this Night Stalker put to very good use already once today. That long-duration silence, the ability to pressure early and to keep the pressure up really worked well for Polar. But more than anything, based on what we see right now anyway, that silence, a very nice answer to puck.
Very nice answer to puck. Also a very nice answer to the Juggernaut, too. He's very reliant on his spin to get away from, the Magic Missile, even the Void from Night Stalker. And he's also very reliant on that ultimate, especially the way in which people are building him now, which is like, primarily mostly stats, secondary maxing this the Blade Dance for just extra damage with his ulti. Again, not my cup of tea, but it seems to be the flavor of the tournament, which means it's much more reliant on that Omni Slash. So if Night Stalker is up in his face with a quick, what's it actually fully called? The Crippling Fear, it could be very devastating. Now, if we remember, though, Evil Geniuses, when they did win last night against C-Deck, they had a fantastic Juggernaut game for Fear. I think he didn't even die that game. He was like 15-0 or 13-0 or something like that.
Right.
And he just went ham.
Well, like you said, we have been seeing a lot of Juggernaut play. And I know you're not a big fan of how a lot of folks are building him. A lot of folks are doing his skill builds. But we've seen it kind of wax and wane. We've seen it do well, seen it do poorly. At this point, though, both teams are pretty wide open. For EG, the question is, will Sumail be on the puck, or will he be putting that on Universe? Universe plays a phenomenal off-lane puck. I'm like you, man. I really want to see the Storm Spirit. Much ballyhooed comes with high recommendations from those that I know that are in the know in the Dota 2 scene, yourself included. And Polar, I mean, whenever you get Avenge and a Night Stalker, you're going to have the ability to pressure very early if you choose to do so. So we'll see if they want to continue on with that. The Ancient Apparition is still available. It's something we've seen Demon run pretty well so far throughout this tournament while standing in for Virtus Pro Polar. And works well with any kind of a global, let's roam, let's carve this map up kind of a strategy.
I'm wondering if Polar is going to go for something similar that they had against LV,
right?
Which worked up really nicely. They picked the Night Stalker, except I think Night Stalker was picked up dead last.
It was.
And I think showing your cards on the table for Night Stalker a little bit early on is similar to like kind of picking up a Spirit Breaker early on, although Spirit Breaker is very strong right now in the meta. But in the sense that you know what his strengths are, you know how to counter him, which is he's going to roam you early, and he's going to be very, very strong with a high damage nuke with low cooldown. But as long as you have heroes that can rotate and be effective with not the biggest amount of mana pools, heroes like Ogre, for example, is a very good, is a somewhat of a good counter. He's very tanky, he's hard to take down, he has a low mana cost stun that can really turn the fights, and he can also afford those early TP scrolls. So heroes like Ogre, Magi, just heroes like of that sense, basically. Even a Disruptor could be quite good about just glimpsing him away, you know?
Oh, for sure. And, thinking about how the roles that the Night Stalker can play, he does output a certain amount of damage, but in general, you're just kind of pinning yourself in a corner if you really, really go all in on getting 100% scaling out of him throughout the early, mid, and late game. Evil Geniuses will go ahead and grab the Bane up. That's perfectly acceptable and understandable against a hero like a Night Stalker if they want, assuming that's going to be a mid Night Stalker. They will have the option of rotating the Bane into mid from time to time, throwing off an Enfeeble. Makes it very hard for him to last it. He has to become much more mana reliant, using Void to try to last it in situations like that, so maybe you slow him down that way. And, of course, there's always just the flat damage reduction in combat scenarios as well as Fiend's Grip. So Bane also a nice hero to pick away from Polar. I don't know that they would have gone that direction, but it's a nice answer to Puck and Juggernaut both. So having that on your own side and not allowing the other side access is always quite handy.
Yeah, they could, but I will say that Bane is a little bit curious against the Venge because the swap is pretty helpful, especially if he does get level 11 quickly, just to get them out of harm's way from the Fiend's Grip. But yeah, Bane, I think EG runs Bane quite nicely. I feel like PPD's win rate on that hero is quite high.
Yeah.
I feel like I rarely do I see him lose with that hero. He just seems to know what to do. Zeus picked up here in the third position for Polar. Lots of damage. We've seen this hero thrive. I believe Phobos was playing it last time, and he was the one that meant Midas, I believe.
Yep.
So we'll have to see if he wants to play the Zeus or plays the Night Stalker, because he played both of those heroes. So Interested to see how that works into this lineup. Not the greatest hero against Juggernaut because obviously every bit of damage from Zeus is magical, and with that Blade Fury, you're not taking any magical damage. And then, of course, Zeus is he doesn't have an escape mechanism. He has to buy it. And so Juggernaut will exploit that quite easily.
I'll tell you something that's available, and I wonder if they would want to go with. If the Storm Spirit does end up being their mid pick, as one assumes they're still looking for Sumail's hero, though it very easily could be the Puck. How about a Storm Spirit and an Omni Knight to round this out? You have an Omni Knight against the physical damage of Night Stalker and whatever else VP wants to grab. You also have the natural synergy of having Repel to go with that Storm Spirit. It helps you bail heroes out if they're close to dead and Zeus is on their trail. I think it's something that could work, and it even works well with a Juggernaut. I mean, he has the magic immunity, of course, of Blade Fury, but if you repel him right after, or you just repel him and then he only Blade Furies after Repel wears off, something to consider, I do believe.
I think you're right on the money with Omni. I think Omni's perfect here, actually. And I would actually be pretty scared for Polar if they did pick it up. I don't know. There's so many heroes when you're looking as a captain. You're like, you have so many different combinations going on in your head. You don't know. You forget sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why team drafting seems to be best because, captain just having something focused, but being able to throw out different ideas can certainly help if you forget. But, yeah, Omni, I'm on board with you, man. I think Omni would be fantastic. They're going to go with the Visage instead. I did agree with you, though. I think Omni would have been quite effective. Night Stalker, he rushes in there. It's very easy to counter, like TP with the Purification, which also does a ton of pure damage in its own right, and then completely 100% counters the Zeus with the Repel. But they go with a different flavor. They go with the Visage. I'm wondering if they want to ban out the Drow now in the next position, just because they already have the Visage, they already have the Puck, which would go nicely. They could do some kind of off-lane Juggernaut thing, or even just an aggro tri-lane with Bane
I think they're
Visage.
going to aggro. That's what I was thinking, because right now you're looking at this, you go, okay, I see a Night Stalker. We know that can be run mid, and if it's not going to be run mid, you can do some wonky stuff like off-lane Night Stalker, but it's so garbage. Like, there's literally no reason to do that. It's a wasted pick at that point. So you assume the Zeus is going to go mid, and then a safe lane Night Stalker with Avenge. That's a melee hero. If you take a Juggernaut, a Bane, and a Visage into the face of that, regardless of what support they pick up, I feel like you've got a more than even shot at not just confounding that lane and slowing down his development, but also just getting kills and winning the lane flat out. There will be a Mirana pickup, though.
Very interesting stuff from Polar. See, now I'm wondering if that Zeus is going to be a support or not, and just have Night Stalker in mid, because like you mentioned, Night Stalker 1 in a tri-lane aggressive won't ever work. You can farm him in the safe lane. It's not, I don't think, well, I don't know. It can work because you just farm him up wait till the 8-minute mark, till, like you said, he gets your phase boots and then your core items, and then you run at people. But I think he's just best mid because even though, like you were saying, if Bane wants to go and Fable him, I don't think Night Stalker has a problem with that because his Void is a low cooldown, low mana, and it's very, very spammable.
Right.
So Night Stalker is one of those strength heroes that will still always get his farm no matter how difficult the lane might seem.
Well, we're going to see. It looks like EG not wanting to deal with an axe.
Yeah,
there's the Drow immediately. And that's nice, you know, whether it's intended or unintended, being able to kind of back your opponent into a corner and go, okay, you either ban this or we're going to take it, and we probably already have something else in mind. So we'll see what Peter wants to avail himself of now with this last pickup, still assuming that it's going to be a Sumail hero. We saw him run the Sand King yesterday. We have seen him run the Ember. Quite a good Ember, actually. And again, a quiet Ember. Slowly, it tallied like 6-1, I think, in the first 20 minutes last time we saw him on Ember.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. As far as Storm, Storm could be scary because while it is like his best hero, they're going to with the Tide, so it is going to be a mid-puck, I imagine.
Yep.
Which I think is totally fine. And a Medusa for Polar. So another Illidan hero. I forgot that he really does like the Medusa as well. So we'll see how much he can put his farming capabilities into this different carry.
Yeah, like you said, the Tide Hunter tips what's going on. Sumail, a good mid-puck, and Universe going to be taking the big watermelon on into the off lane. Fear PPD, let's see, who's playing what? It's going to be Mag on the Night Stalker, and that's interesting. Are they going to try to go aggressive? Are they going to try to dodge? Are they?
I think it's just, I mean, maybe they do go aggressive. Maybe they, but no, you can't go. Visage Bane is so strong in lane. Like, Bane is very, very strong in lane. That just doesn't seem like it would work out. I'm assuming it's just an off-lane Night Stalker. Maybe they go aggro with the... Nope. Okay, Illidan's going bottom, so we're going through all the options here.
I think it's aggro, man. I think they want to meet this tri-lane.
I don't know if that's going to work out.
I feel pretty confident it's not. Like, I just do not feel well about that.
Night Stalker's pretty bad until he's level 4. There's some friendly banter going back and forth. Maybe they're just here to just secure this rune. Like, you see this a lot, so... it would seem like an awful.
Well, I
Twilight
mean, but
to me.
Illidan is. But what's the alternative? They're just going to run Mag as the solo off lane Night Stalker. Like I've seen that done, and it's awful. Like it's just really, really not good, especially against any kind of a lane with kill potential, which they're going to have against the hero with no innate escape mechanism. They have a slow, they have a disable, and they have the ability to chase him down with Jug very easily.
Yep. Yeah, I like. Yeah, this safe lane is really, really strong. And there is an early ward on the top river rune to give some extra vision. If there is a level 1 engagement, that is one thing you have to be wary of, is these long-range Potom arrows. So Potom's actually very, very good at bounty rune defense, if you really think about it.
Oh, yeah. They're going to hang here for now. I'm pretty sure they're going aggro. Like, I don't know what option's worse. At least if they go aggro, maybe it disrupts Jugger's farm. If they just send solo off-lane Mag, it's not like he really has the option to fall back in jungle. He's got a fair amount of regen. And EG is going to contest here. It's going to be one-on-one at bottom for the bounty. Actually, check that. They're not even going to try to put Universe in that position.
I don't think they can see these heroes on the off lane, or on this hill, because it's actually up 1 level. So if they get a long-range arrow perhaps onto Visage or somebody, they're not even going to try for it. Interesting. They're going to just start off with the, oh, there we go, Magic Missile first. Arrow is going to actually hit Fear.
Oh, beautiful play.
Fury. Yeah. Yeah, not too bad there. Something that he probably needed to do. Maybe PPD could have saved him with like some kind of nightmare afterwards or something, but nonetheless mitigates a lot of damage. And it is going to be an aggro trial. That's an interesting ward because I don't think that blocks. I don't know how much vision that's actually going to give them in the spots that they need it. And yeah, I think this is a very weird tri lane from Polar.
Well, we'll see how it's going to work out. It is going to be complicated. They're going to set up here on the side of EG and try to get their pull and their stack and the such on. And we'll be keeping an eye here for the most part. While we have a moment, it doesn't look like there will be a lot of action at top. Let's talk about these mid matchups, Zeus versus Puck.
Zeus to just farm unless he's taking a lot of auto attack damage that's unnecessary from Puck. So I imagine not too much happens unless someone screws up. FNG is already fully out of mana. He needs to use that clarity, although Fear taking a lot of auto attack damage actually. Didn't use all of his gold up at the start because he wanted to maybe rush something else. And at least save it. Here comes an arrow. Oh, if it hit Fear, it could have been a kill because PPD only has Enfeeble. Yeah, actually I think it definitely would have been a kill.
Yeah, Fear, like you said, getting banged down. He's still got 4 tangos on him. There's the Enfeeble coming into play. His damage is 25, and you know, it is low mana cost, low cooldown, but you can only use it so much, man. I mean, he can, like, if he's going to last hit with it, all the kill potential in this lane seems to evaporate, barring just a miracle arrow that catches a squishy support. And we can already see that one in particular, FNG, like you said, he burned through his mana to begin with. He's now back up to enough for a magic missile, but after that, he's Dunskies.
Yeah, the problem is they're not actually harassing him at the same time, so he's able to, even though he's hitting for 25 damage, he's able to still get those CS. And that's not even the biggest problem I have with this Enfeeble level 1. The biggest problem I have is that when they have engagements in level 3, he's most likely going to be 1-1-1, which means his main nuke is not going to be maxed at level 2. And his main nuke is one of the best in the game. It's a pure damage nuke, so pure damage nukes are always better. So it does more damage, and it also heals himself, so that means he can be more aggressive with auto attacks before he even uses it.
No one heading for the bounty bottom yet. That's going to hang there for a bit. And Bottle should be on the way out.
Ooh, they just let them pull the side lane, too. The entire wave was killed. That's actually a pretty big deal.
FNG's making his way back up with a couple of illusions with him. And he's going to try to loop around on Sumail. Sumail is very low. Only has enough mana for 1 phase shift as well. He's got 9 stick charges, however. And here comes his Bottle. His FNG, nope, he's not going to hang around. Thought maybe he might go for a courier snipe with the illusions, but not going to be the case. Instead, wants to get back to lane and help his team.
Yep. DK Phobos, pretty good with his CS, 12-0 compared to the 12-2 from Sumail. That's to pretty much be expected. There's the stick charge, is huge. The orb actually does hit DK Phobos. A couple more auto attacks, maybe he misses that one uphill. I don't think he gets it anyway, but both heroes taking a lot of pressure in mid. How's bottom doing? We got 14 CS for both heroes. Ty doing a lot better than I would have thought. Although, I mean, yes, it's a ranged hero from Illidan, but I don't think he can fully like out-harass him.
No, 2 points in the crack and he's in good shape.
Yeah, unless he's like, unless Universe is really screwing up and just kind of staying up there the whole time and not backing away, he shouldn't be able to fully harass him out. And he's actually got a Bottle on the way too. And I know that Universe builds this in a way that I didn't check at the beginning, but he usually builds like a ton of regen, like 8 trees and like, you know, 1 or 2 health potions.
Yeah. And EG still maintaining control up here. The farm is actually better for Mag right now, so if nothing else, They are disrupting the farm of the Juggler, and Mag is at least breaking even. In mid, Phobos, one last auto attack would have been enough. Sumail now being chased by FNG. FNG 5 mana short of another stun. Sumail's going to be able to bottle up, though, and they're going to run for the 4-minute rune. Sumail's got to think hard and long about whether he wants to contest this flat out. And yeah, FNG just gets the hell out. Not even going to try. Down at bottom, Universe finds a double damage for himself.
That was kind of an awkward situation. Thank God it wasn't like a DD or a haste or something like that, because he could have maybe even turned that back onto the Vengeful Spirit.
Yep. I think that was the thinking. That's why, even though he had position, he bailed out. Was, you know, if he comes and stands on this with me and I end up not getting it, I'm probably dead.
Yep. DK Phobos TP's back in, gives a friendly bottle charge to his buddy Venge. Venge is going to walk back up top. How's Night Stalker's farm? He's actually more farmed than the Juggernaut.
Yep.
And I think, I don't know, I think it's actually a little bit of a mistake by just constantly pulling this lane, rather than just auto attack harassing with a Grave Chill every once in a while, and then throwing out some, you know, some free nukes from Bane. But they decided to play a more farming route with just utilizing pulls just because they didn't have it blocked. But I don't know if that's necessarily the right decision, because Night Stalker's farming too much. And now it's nighttime, so now it's, if they wanted to have some kill potential, it's definitely there more than it was before.
Now, Polar doing quite well in this off lane, surprisingly. We haven't seen EG really take a shot at him yet. FNG will throw the magic missile, catches Peter from behind. Mag thought about throwing the Void, but opted not to do so, saved himself the mana. Has an Urn already done back at the base. Here in mid, 20-17, Sumail's beginning to win this matchup.
Yep, but the good thing about these aggro tri-lanes is, and this is probably why they did it, I didn't even think about this, but whenever you have a Zeus, it's always great to go aggro tri-lane, simply because it forces, especially when no kills happen, if you don't lose the lane horribly, it forces all the supports and even the cores to just be a low level, which means they have low HP.
Right.
And so when they, if it was not aggro, they would be getting more farm, they'd be getting more levels. But because it's aggro, they're only barely level 3, not the greatest stats, they're not farming as well. So it means it's actually more effective to have that Zeus ulti come out. FNG, same stuff as earlier, except he's got a lot more reinforcements here this time.
And that's going to be a haste rune guarded by FNG. Down at bottom, Universe snagged himself a bounty rune for his own bottle. Still no kills on the board 6 minutes in. Relatively quiet early laning phase, and we'll see if that's going to continue for much longer. Wouldn't surprise me, though, with how powerful the roaming tandems of supports are if we begin to see a little bit of a breakdown soon.
DK Phobos with that rune. He's got a haste rune, actually. If he gets a little bit more harassment on Sumail, he's out of a bottle. He's actually bottle crowing right now. Very low on mana, or very low on life. Arrow comes out. He's dead.
That's going to be your first blood as Jimmy, hiding in the shadows, found it from downtown, 1-0, give Polar the lead.
Very nice rotation. And very nice arrow to set that all up. He was already playing with fire, just being that low next to his Zeus. If Zeus had ulti plus mana for his main lightning bolt, he probably could have killed him on his own too.
Jimmy has been active, but he has not slouched in levels. He's level 4 right now, right middle of the pack. In fact, he's on the same level as Mag, as he's been bouncing around. That's what's so important when you play this roaming style of Mirana.
He's going to try it again.
See if he can find it. He's hanging out. There is a bit of a scout there. He's got a lot of help behind him. Sumail does. 2, and Sumail phase shifted that time. Still, look at the damage output from that Zeus, though.
It's insane. Yeah, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that Lightning Bolt also gave vision uphill just a little bit to show the heroes that were behind him. They're actually, no, they're not smoking around. They're just walking around. But there is no ward to really see them. If they don't know that the supports are pulling up top, Mag should be giving word that these supports are roaming around. They're actually going all the way bottom. Illidan does have a value point into the Stone Gaze, so if they don't kill him right away, he's definitely going to not only delay the time, but actually some action up top. Mag putting some damage onto
There it is. Stun catches him from behind, and Mag there to help chase him down. 2-0. Polar leads now.
Well, and because there was no response, what does that say to Illidan? There's no response up top, so Illidan's just sitting back, hiding. He knows that the supports are roaming around trying to find him. So that it's like that little play was actually a double play, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's very good for a VP Polar.
Yep, and we can see Illidan playing very careful, using his Mystic Snake to last hit. Shove the wave back out so he can just sit under his tower, and that's what he'll do. And keep it safe. EG is really not getting a whole lot out of their support play right now. They didn't do well against the aggro try at all, and they have yet to really pressure anywhere else. It's what I was talking about before. I mean, just given how good they should be on paper, you would expect to see them break it down. but it hasn't been the case. Maybe Universe can be the catalyst they need to get something working, as he is level 8, has his Ravage, and Demon's right on the other side of these two. We'll see if he can find a target.
It's actually going to pull right now, and they did spot out some shenanigans here. Owie's down bottom. Doesn't have any points in his passive, taking a ton of auto attack damage because he actually has 0 armor and nothing into his Gravekeeper's cloak. My God, those 3 auto, look at his HP. That was 3 auto attacks, nothing more. So he needs to hopefully get level 4 here soon so he can get some extra armor up with that Gravekeeper's cloak.
That was just about half his health.
Yeah.
Each of those auto attacks hit for 100 damage a shot. And like you said, lack of armor, no mitigation whatsoever. Tough going. FNG taking what he can out of the jungle for now, but both teams settling down a little bit. AUI, a phenomenal Visage player in and of his own right, does tend to play a very farm-centric Visage. He should get a little bit of farm priority coming up soon, and he's going to need it. If he doesn't die first, Arrow did connect, and Mystic Snake makes it a 3-0 now, favoring VP Polar.
Very nice play by Jimmy. Demon's been just on point this entire tournament so far.
Really has.
And despite, his funny throw plays on stream and questionable decision-making on stream and other games, he really brings it home when it's like a big match that matters, and it's especially sobering to the Polar lineup that he's doing so on a game like this.
Universe snags himself another rune, and Nightmare looks like PPD threw out on the FNG, and Phobos manages to get himself a regen. I want to see how Phobos is going to get active soon. He seems to be going Midas. He's got his Glove of Haste, so going to be delaying a Blink Dagger or whatever else he might have wanted. And more than willing to take this late. I'm not yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you be? When you look at the lineup of EG, it's not bad, but it is kind of this once again. I mean, you could kind of treat Visage as a core if he gets a lot of kills and a lot of farm. Currently, though, 0-1 and 0. Not the best start for AUI in 10.5 minutes.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
And the Jug is, we saw this out of EG yesterday, this kind of one-dimensional, single, real kind of farmer, but even Jug's kind of a semi-core anyway.
Oh, Demon's trying to gear up for another arrow onto bottom. He was pinging it out for a second. He just wanted to make sure the consistent movement from Aoi was staying the way it was. Illidan's pushing this up. Demon needs to try to maybe move into a closer position, but he doesn't want to reveal himself either. He's just going to go for the leap into the arrow. He's just going to try to go YOLO this, I think. Nope. Okay, he was spotted, or at least he should have been. Anyway, they know that that's going on. Universe farming some creeps in the Ancients. He'll have his blink, actually, after one more creep. Yep, there he goes.
Leaping forward. And AUI could be in some danger here.
Ooh, that could have been he's got some dangerous movement going on here, especially if he knows that Demon's trying to fish for an arrow.
He might be trying to bait it, too. These two players know each other very well.
He will die before anyone comes in. Yeah.
So gets a creep. It's expensive mana cost for a CS, but at least he got something out of it. PPD in the meantime approaching level 6 as he's been staying just in creep range and not getting too close to Mag. Does have help on the way, though. It's going to be Fear coming back to farm. Fear did complete his Mask of Madness, so going with this right-click approach with the phase boots as well. And FNG just finishing up the little things, getting his wand complete, and Blink Dagger going to be the rush after brown boots for Sumail.
Yep. And Sumail walking towards the bottom room. He's got some pretty decent form, 52 CS for him. Rushing the Blink, no upgraded treads. I know that he used to like to go for the Midas on the puck, and I actually think he used it quite nicely, but playing a little bit more conservatively in this game anyway.
See if he wants to try to make a play. He got that invis. In the meantime, Visage denies the bottom tier 1. He's got Universe behind him. They want to kill him, and they will. Easy, easy kill, and a very important one. And that's the kind of thing where you just go, what the hell? It's just out of nowhere. You wander up to the edge of your own ridge line there in mid, and suddenly you've got a Ravage and an invisible puck in your mouth.
Well, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. I don't think that both ults were necessary there. They just, I guess, really wanted to secure the cure. But I think Sumail could have held on to that coil a little bit longer, used it for a different engagement. But, oh well, the important thing is they got the kill. They were able to stop his farm a little bit. He will respawn with an ult ready to go. And he is close. Actually, that's a really good kill because he was very close to his Midas. So, anyway, TP up top. It is nighttime for a little bit longer. I believe I can never figure out this thing. Yeah, okay. So until that yellow bar goes down, I don't even know. Whatever. I'll just stop even thinking about it.
Increments of 4, my friend.
There you go. Oh, arrow coming out. Nope, not going to connect.
And PPD could be in some trouble here. They've got a ward down. He sniffs it, though. And he's pulling back. Yeah, we're going to see the creeps cut by FNG here, and they're going to take a run into Tier 1. Easy to understand why. AUI is continuing to get a little bit of farm working for himself, though, so not to no avail. The birds are out, and Phobos is going to get eyes on them. Blink done on Sumail, and PPD gets silenced. Here comes the TPN. That is Sumail, and is he going to pursue?
No coil. See, if he had coil right there, for example, that could have been a much easier engagement.
5 seconds. They're going to get Demon anyway. Yep. So no coil, but they didn't need it. Now they have coil for potentially a dive onto the tier 1 here.
Yep. Well, Illidan is still farming very, very fast. He's up to 100 CS at 14 minutes, not too bad. Aui's down here, did hit level 6. Actually, Ding's level 7 right now. So this rotation of Aui to bottom, other than that one death, has actually
good
improved.
phase shift from Sumail. Dodge a magic missile. FNG's going to pay the price because of it, too. Very, very nice dodge from Sumail. And did it again. Got the silence off. There's that coil. Universe right behind him. And he'll do a little bit of damage, but he's going to end up dead for sure one way or the other. Does end up getting the trade on PPD. And now Mag in some trouble. His Spear's right on his tail. Sumail right behind him as well. Gush slows him down. He's going to try to double back. Doesn't matter. Double kill for the youngster. 4-5. EG springs ahead in terms of kills. Couple of really high priority ones there.
Yeah, and just delaying more item progression, if any, from Zeus. I mean, he had a very good start. He had the roaming. He had the first blood given to him by Demon himself. But he's not even close to his Midas now. He just keeps getting set back, and now it's like a question of, do you even still go for it? It's just been delayed by too long. Should have had about 4 minutes ago, honestly.
Just what are
Demon
you
taking a
hiding,
look at
Russia?
Roshan. Nobody
The prize
home.
is mine.
And I'm like you, like the item progression, you know, looking through, it's going to be a Lincoln Sphere build on Illidan. Zeus, I mean, at this point, just sell the Glove of Haste, man. Save yourself a 250 gold and go for an item that's going to help your team right now.
Yeah, well, he's already so heavily invested, he might as well get it. But the thing is, he's already level 11, so it's like, does he necessarily need that many levels? Like,
right.
Level 11's a pretty big benchmark. Obviously, you want 16, but yeah, I think at this point, it's better to just get something that gives you more mobility, a 4-staff even, or just straight up blink. But we'll see. We'll see if the rest of his team can create some space. But it will be daytime in just 20 seconds, I believe, unless he ulted it, which kind of screws it all up.
I mean, you do still have Illidan's Medusa to fall back on. So, I mean, if you're just hell-bent and hell-set on going to the late game, Midas does make sense. You just have to make sure you don't get run over in the meantime. They are in great shape otherwise, though. I mean, it is worth mentioning, even though EG's had a couple of good sequences now, not a single Tier 1 has fallen for VP. So they still have map control. They're still it's still basically an even game, as you can see.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, there's an ult coming out actually from the bottom. They know that they're there. They spotted him out.
Ooh.
That's actually very, very big.
And they're going to go ahead and use the ulti up at top.
Nice.
Yep, getting the kill on the Juggernaut.
Very high priority kill. I mean, he is pretty much the one biggest core on his team as a pause comes out from AUI. And Sumail's just going to disconnect, maybe fix some kind of hotkey or something, but very high priority kill there.
Oh, good. That issue has returned. The earlier session today, we got feedback from the players that it was much better. And we were told by the fine folks here that something had been upgraded, but yeah, apparently the issue has resurfaced. So we'll let this get sorted, however it needs to be sorted. Hopefully some folks will take a look, and hopefully we'll get underway in a more meaningful way here shortly. I'm taking a look at, well, we're looking at our ping here on our side, and it's not too bad from your PC there, Trelf.
Yeah, it sucks because I believe they are on a different, as you've mentioned, internet connection or something like that. But looks like it may have subsided. Just a small hiccup, hopefully.
Back underway, and we'll hope it's manageable, if not erased and gone. Anyway, it is 5-5. That's a great kill for VP, but as I said, I mean, EG's had a couple of good sequences here, but I don't think there's any reason for them to panic. I mean, I think we're both on board with the idea of a little bit more utility, maybe being nice, but again, if they drafted this and they plan to play this out, if their approach is tower defense for 30 minutes and just let Illidan farm, then there's no reason not to get a Midas.
Ooh, that was close. Aui almost lost his 2 birds right there. We'll see if Illidan has enough punching power with that split shot. Is he going to try for it? I don't think he's going to get it. So TP, I heard TP is coming around mid, I think. Sumail going towards the Yules, I presume. It's pretty much his go-to. Checking out on some smokes. It's Fear and Aui. He TP'd down there with his new Yasha after respawning from death. Arrow comes out. It's towards Roche, but they're actually smoked up and almost assisting them there, but it actually didn't reach the Roche. And this is a perfect time because Jimmy's like, I just checked it, guys. Don't worry. They're not doing it.
Yep.
And now after they do it, they're like, Jimmy, what the hell?
Exactly. Exactly. They may suspect it anyway. Nobody's on the map. They're probably looking to dodge a smoke gang. At some point, they're going to get the clue, I think. At this point, though, they couldn't even really challenge for it. And to be honest, at this stage of the game, the way they built, they don't have enough utility. Universe with his blink, there's the arrow, then actually helps him out.
Yeah.
They don't have enough to really deal with Universe's Ravage right now. Mag's going to be coiled. There's going to be a swap from FNG. Gets him up to the high ground.
Nice swap.
And EG may just go ahead and take a run at their first Tier 1 tower now.
Well, it's a very nice swap. Arrow comes out. It is dodged by Sumail. But Coil, unfortunately, is on cooldown now. Lincoln's up at a pretty decent time, 18 minutes. Good for him. He has upgraded boots as well, of course. And, yeah, FNG seems to be on point all the time with these swaps and just always in the right place at the right time, it seems. His movement is not futile. It's always with a purpose.
Lincoln's popped for 16 seconds. EG waiting on something. Smoke and some sentries. They see Mag is split off, and they're actually going to split a couple off here. It's going to be PPD. They're just going to grip him. I thought, yeah, he was just
so close.
Was he trying to grip or Nightmare?
Yeah, trying to grip. I think he get a little bit more range with the grip, but lost a vision. It was nighttime, and yeah. But I imagine those kind of ganks don't happen once this Night Stalker gets Ags, and he's about halfway to it.
Yeah, good to see the Stalker going straight Ags this time.
I like it so much more.
Yeah. This makes such a difference in terms of what the hero's presence on the map is, especially if it comes out at a decent time.
Yep, you put a gem on him too, it's almost impossible to smoke gank.
Yep. EG, gotta put a little pressure on top here. FNG's there, happy to soak some levels. Arc boots are up for Universe, who is quite well farmed. He's number 3 overall. Fear is number 2, and Sumail number 4. As we've come to expect, Illidan is number 1, sitting at already over 10K net worth at a very early stage in the game. AUI, again, this is kind of what I said, and I've joked about it yesterday. AUI seems to always play his own little game. He spends a lot of time away from his team, generally speaking.
Ooh, he almost gets arrowed there. Nice try, but nice juke. Nice dodge. The tower falls up top. First tower in favor of EG, with the help of that Aegis to kind of ward them off. So Fear running around. What's he want to get? Is this going to be another casual Yasha into something weird? Or, you know, it's funny because that defusal was picked up. I thought it was so random and not necessary, but it's actually quite good here if he decided to go for it, just to burn through the mana of that Medusa. So we'll see what he wants to go for. Yep. Still no blink yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I like defusal against Medusa so very much. And they need something to account for. We've seen just how immortal a Medusa can feel if she's given farm, and so far she's had her way with it. Lincoln's popped, arrow out.
Oh my God.
Well shot.
Demon Dota.
Demon.
That was pretty good.
Demon lands a good one and secures the kill onto Sumail.
We call him Little Demon.
Little Demon?
Yeah, new Demon.
Lil D? What's up, Lil D?
You know that was his name for like the longest time, right?
What?
Like, Sumail's name was, I'll show you, it was like this. Demon.
Oh, wow.
Just, yeah.
Lil Demon, caught by Big Demon.
Yep.
And there's another arrow. I just heard it shot. Yeah, barely whizzes by Fear that time around. Max still trying to farm up that scepter. He has it in just a few hundred gold. And that might be the word go for VP. Thus far, they played a little passively. And it looks like it's going to be, is this going to be a BKB or is this going to be a scepter coming out for Phobos?
For Phobos, let's see here.
Got an Ogre Club.
I would presume BKB then, actually, because I feel like, 1, I've seen him do it before. 2, it wouldn't make sense to go for the Ags unless just getting the point booster first. I mean, you can get the Ogre Club. It's not bad. It's just not as efficient. But I think it makes sense if you went BKB here. It mitigates literally everything except for the Juggernaut. So if he's able to, for instance, cast that right before a Ravage or during a Coil. And speaking of Ravage, you see Universe right here taking a lot of damage.
Yep, they're going to try to follow this up. And there's the John ahead. And there's the Ravage. Got 2. Demon locked down with the Coil as well. Snaps it. And will he make it away? No. Universe there to finish it. In the meantime, the Aegis gone off of Fear. Not going to matter as they should be able to track down Illidan here. He is so tanky, though. Omni Slash doing a job, but Sumail loses a lot of health and ends up dropping as well. 3 for 1. And it's going to be a 4 for 1 as EG with a triple kill from AUI. Puts an exclamation point on it, taking the Tier 1 and asserting their footprint onto this game.
I think Zeus should have bought out there, actually. The fight was going on. You had a full HP, full mana Illidan, the Aegis was done. He still has ultimate to expend from Zeus. I think he should have bought back there. I think he would have done a lot of damage. So big fight won there by EG. The Aegis helping out considerably. They weren't able to burst down the Titanhunter before he got off all his spells, which is very difficult to do. The arrow came in, it actually whizzed by him. Peter dodged it in the back lines. And had that hit the Tidehunter, they'd probably kill him without casting a Ravage. Would have been a completely different fight. But yeah, I do still think that the Zeus probably should have bought back there. But, well, wanted to really save for that BKB or whatever he's buying.
I'm a little surprised to see AUI opting to go straight up Atos instead of getting a Scepter first. I mean, Atos I actually really like the item on Visage for the most part. But getting it this early, do you think that's better than having a Scepter?
I mean, I'm never really a fan of it. I think Scepter is just perfect. Oh, we see some action up top, actually. We're trying to get this done on to Sumail. He knows that something's up, though. But, yeah, I'm just in the old school where I just think that Ags is just a little bit better. I think the 3 birds makes it so much more effective. Obviously, it's more effective with a hero like Drow. But, I mean, this is Aoi, man. This guy loves to build this item. It's pretty much named after him at this point.
Yep.
Pretty good against the Medusa, actually, and even the Night Stalker. We'll see, though. Arrow coming out. It does hit Fear. Nicely shot by Demon. Dota himself. The fight may pursue, or I should say persist, as I do know that Sumail is actually here in Viz because he just used the Bolt, which gives you clear vision, or true vision, mind you. So, yeah, nicely played there by Demon. He's on point with these arrows.
No joke. Really a difference maker. Has been throughout the entire tournament, or his entire run in the tournament, which has lasted every bit of 36 hours at this point. But Polar counter-punching and moving on to the other side of the map. This is a very close game. As we can see, no big leads really being generated. Arrow shot doesn't connect that time around. Down at bottom, we can see the birds doing what they do, which is keep lanes pushed. So AUI putting some pressure on the tier 2 bottom. That's going to force a TP out of Demon.
Yep, Universe farming ridiculously fast. On his way to his refresher. He's 2-0-5, having a fantastic game. Been quiet, but has been there when he needs to be with the Ravage. I mean, this is probably Universe's best hero besides Void, really.
Yeah.
Just very consistent, but impulsive at the same time. So, and that's what you need for the Tidehunter player. You can't be afraid to use solo Ravages on one hero. You also can't be afraid to just wait and hold off until the right time. Sometimes you get a little bit jumpy in teams. You're like, I got to go because people on my team are dying, but it's not actually the best time. It's best to be resilient and patient.
On second thought, I got to contest you on that. It's probably his 3rd best. His Darkseer still is sick. We never see Darkseer played anymore. But back when we did, it is so good.
Well, I think his own words is like he's probably his least favorite hero or something like that.
Yeah. Sumail coming in, gets the coil on the FNG in mid. PPD ready to follow. Got him with a brain sap and the Fiend's Grip just to secure the kill. And that's a wasted ulti. Yep. Like just flat wasted. They may re-engage knowing that's down now. Yeah, Universe wants to go for it. He's up front looking for multiple targets. AUI got Illidan. Can they catch him from behind? Universe holding on to the Ravage. He doesn't need it. They got plenty of damage to bring him down. As EG capitalizing on a bit of an itchy trigger finger from Illidan, pulling the trigger way too early on that ulti, and it is such a difference maker whenever that ulti isn't available. It just completely changes how aggressive EG can play into them, at towers in particular.
Yeah, they think that he's just way too tanky, and he is very tanky, but when you completely isolate him, he just gets cut through with the negative armor from the Medallion, the Birds, just everything that the EG has to offer. Arrow comes in and gets hit by a Visage Familiar, and now they're in a terrible position.
Illidan may have to buy back, man.
Well, he hasn't been buying back in the previous games, and we'll see. Mag, by the way, decides to forego the Ags. He went for BKB instead, which I think is, I think it's fine. You can argue that it's a smarter pickup. But now he's going for what looks like to be a Vlad, so this is just a casual point booster, and I don't know about this.
Would have liked to have seen the Ags. I'm with you, man. Well, they managed to keep the tier 3 standing. Thought EG was actually going to force a fight on the back of the Ravage, knowing that Illidan does not like to buy back. And even if they Ravage, then he buys back and you run away, it's still a win. But they managed to keep them to hold it together. Regardless, 9-11, 20 kills in 27 minutes has not been the most active game, at least on average. It has gotten the much more active of late. AUI continuing to farm up. EG has secured themselves the biggest lead of the game now, coming up on 3,000 gold. The experience still slightly in favor of VP Polar. But AUI is more than halfway, he's right at halfway to his Scepter now. So even though he went Atos early, he's making it count. And he's going to have a Scepter very soon if he keeps this up.
Yeah, which will be fantastic. You do have to be a little bit careful if Medusa starts stacking a ton of damage because they'll start to one-shot those birds. So
oh, yeah.
That's the one thing you do have to be a little bit wary of. I mean, he was almost 3-shotting them when he had absolutely no items at all. Now he's here to Lincoln's. He's building in towards Manta. I mean, well, see right there. Just 2 auto attacks, I think, and one of those birds does fall.
They had some help. Demon hit one, and I think
okay.
FNG got an auto attack. It was like 3 or 4.
Sure. But, yep, ulti comes out. Pretty much a scouting ulti, I believe, as I do see Sumail in mid. And then the rest of the team, they're not smoked, so they do get revealed. And, yep, Universe is just about 700 gold away from that refresher.
Like you said, refresher. Not far away and a gigantic item, especially as Roshan respawns literally in front of our eyes. EG does have a tremendous advantage in the pit, at least for now. And I'll tell you something I wouldn't mind seeing built on them. I don't know who would build it, but a pipe would be gorgeous if he wanted to go. I mean, because his refresher has come out at such a good clip and he is so damn farmed in general. If he wanted to grab a pipe up now, you could really take a lot of the damage that VP Polar is counting on out of the equation.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. He probably will. It's just, I think pipe is, what, 3,800 in total or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty expensive. No, 35, sorry. I overshot a little bit, so it's not that bad. But, yeah, it pretty much mitigates the ultimate of Zeus for your entire team if they're all clumped up in it. There's the Manta for the Medusa. She's still very, very farmed. Looking at the graphs, I thought it was actually going to be much more in favor of EG just after these amazing engagements for them. They're actually trailing 1,000 in experience. Might be a little bit due to the Midas for the Zeus, but they are at about 2,700 of the net worth. I thought it would be a little bit higher, to be honest, but their team fight's just so much stronger at this point.
Yeah, they're moving into the pit, and I don't think Polar's going to be able to get anything out of this. They're certainly not going to be able to contest the Roshan. Yeah, they're not even going to get any damage on the tier 2. This is free Roshan, free Aegis for Old Man, and they're going to be ready to bring the pain a little bit, I do believe. Polar has just smoked, though. And they're going to try to catch EG falling back. They're going to have a chance to do so, as it looks like Fear wants to go to the jungle.
God, that's a refresher up.
That's a sub-30-minute Blink 4-staff refresher on Universe. Are you kidding?
That's very good time. Oh, God. This is going to be so bad for Polar. Smoked or not, it doesn't matter. They actually vanish with the Pada multi. They're running away. They don't want to fight this.
The Pada multi not best utilized as a defensive measure for your whole team. That really states, like, that little vision right there is what I think the state of the game is right now. VP Polar is just on the run. They can't take a full 5-on-5. EG able to dictate the pace and the and just how aggressive this game's going to end up being, all said. And Polar still has to find something to get working for them. They can't just continue and hope that they're not going to go high ground, because they certainly are soon.
Well, they need right-click damage on Illidan. Like, he's in team fights, he's very tanky, but the last couple times, his last 2 deaths, or well, his only 2 deaths, have been when he's completely isolated and just feels like he can't do anything. Granted, the second one was when he kind of wasted his ulti there, but I'm curious to see just how effective he can be in a real team fight. There's an Axe for Puck. Obviously, we've seen this a number of times. It's very, very good. Goes to the BKB, and it's a very, very long break coil duration, 4.5 seconds.
Let's see how Polar wants to try to play this out from this moment on. It is going to be a smoke from EG. There's a double damage waiting right on a platter for him.
Oh, God.
Hello, FNG. And behind that, we actually do have an engagement. Illidan tried to use the ulti, really broke it apart fight. Arrow's way off.
That was really good for Polar, though.
Yeah, it really was. That should have been a disaster, and everyone made it home.
Yep, I think they just, when they saw Illidan come in there with the ulti, they probably thought everyone was sitting behind him. They got scared for a split second, and it's kind of, you know, turned the other way and didn't want to pursue. So that's actually a pretty nice win for Polar, and I think this is good. They just need to elongate the game. Biggest thing too, it's so scary fighting against this lineup because it's, one, you got double Ravage, but two, they have the Aegis on the side of Fear. That's very, very difficult to deal with.
Well, taking a look, net worth-wise, Fear's kept up pretty well. And they're going to go right to work on the tier 3. Fear has that Aegis to give. He doesn't want to give it for free.
He almost did.
Yeah.
I don't get, okay, so this build, it's one thing to not have the Blade Fury leveled up, but why not level up the Healing Ward? Like, is it because it costs more mana? I don't know. I need to talk to someone about this. I feel like the Healing Ward leveled up, 5% is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Well, usually that's kind of considered the value level, right? Usually you get 2 points in, then you can skip it and go focus everything else.
I mean, the Blade Dance and the Healing Ward aren't like that great about scaling up. Like it's only 5% on Blade Dance, 1% on Healing Ward, but I definitely feel the difference of the Healing Ward. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He's still okay. He has his Aegis up, another 2,700 gold for him. And looks like EG's trying to starve him out by farming their jungle. And what's Night Stalker doing? He's actually just splitting it up. If he wants to go for the Dags, he's going to have it. And what, 800 gold now? And I do think it will help a lot, especially if they can time the Ags with like a support buying a gem. Will just give you so much vision. It would take away a lot of the vision from EG. There comes Mag with the ulti.
Look at this wave coming. Some low health, and Fear takes the deny. But yeah, they should be able to take this tier 2 relatively uncontested. Arrow only caught a creep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, they're not even going to be able to trade it top. They have a glyph if they want to spend it and go back and defend.
Dire's top
Doesn't look like that's the
tower is
plan.
under attack.
Sumail in
Dire's
range of Demon.
structures are fortified.
But they're just going to go ahead and wait to go high ground. Let's see
Radiant's bottom
how dedicated.
tower
Oh,
is
there's an
under
arrow.
attack.
Got AUI this time. Hey, Demon way too far forward. Universe came in and secured an easy kill. Here comes Illidan. They're all going to turn their backs, but there's the Omni Slash doing good damage and forcing them back off of it.
Dire's middle tower
Still
is
has his
under
Aegis. And now might be the time they need to consider spending it. It's daytime on top of everything else. And there we go. Illidan caught with the Fiend's Grip and the Ravage as Universe lays the hammer along with the rest of his team. But Mag, with the buyback from 2 more, should be enough to chase them away. As Fear, not willing to stand and fight, still forcing the buyback out of Illidan. Pretty important. They may get PPD from behind. Mag trying to chase him down.
Dire's top tower is
Fear
under
able to spin and make it home safely. And PPD not going to be as lucky. He gets silenced, earned, and brought down.
Well,
It did cost them 2 very, very valuable buybacks, though, especially on the Illidan.
I think the buyback this early on in the game is not so detrimental. I don't think that they can push again because, 1, they don't have the Aegis, and 2, they're not going to have double Ravage. So he probably will have his buyback available in the next 5 minutes, the next time EG actually wants to take a real fight uphill.
Right.
So I think that was actually a very good fight in favor of Polar. Yeah, they did have to buy back, but they expended 2 Ravages. I thought it was going to be disastrous if they didn't have, actually it would have been disastrous if they didn't have buyback because Universe just dropped a bomb on him with those 2 amazing ultimates.
Yep.
The big thing, and also the Diffusal Blade, my God, it's cutting through so much. When you have all those attacks with the extra attack speed of Mask of Madness, using that ulti, the Diffusal Blade just cuts through the mana. It was a very weird swap, actually, from the Vengeful Spirit. I don't know if you saw it. It was like a close range when I think he was perfectly fine being solo ulted by the Omni Knight. Or sorry, by the Omni Knight. The Omni Slash. Didn't really do that much damage to him, and he kind of just took some damage himself. I think he could have saved that swap. But anyway, all in all, I think it was a bit of a win for VP Polar.
By the metrics, it was actually a slight edge for EG, but in terms of momentum, you're dead on the money. Like you said, Roshan going to be of utmost importance to them in terms of going high ground. Has Universe. Universe actually not going to get pipe. He's picked up a Blade Mail first. So maybe wanting to go Shivas to help deal with the attack speed of Illidan. Illidan is not going to be that far, and so long as they can get out on the map and farm like this, it's not going to take him that long to farm up the rest of his Scotty. And he's got 1 ultimate orb up already, assuming it will be a Scotty. He's already got the Manta done as well.
Yeah, it should be. It's very good against Jug. Even if he uses the Blade Fury, he still gets constantly slowed. And obviously Scotty just gives you tons of stats, and Medusa loves that. So very obvious pickup there. Invis Rune here for Vengeful Spirit. Sitting behind his carry. Swap him out if he needs to because he doesn't have buyback. But yeah, and the Ags is finally up. They should buy a gem for him as well if they can afford it. There is a pot of multi. I don't know if it was heard or seen by EG. They're pinging in all sorts of different places, but rushing into Fear. They better blow him up if they want to go.
Taking a run at him. And they're going to run right into a whole team. Universe has 1 Ravage ready. They suspect this is happening. Universe is still right there. Sumail and Fear out in front. Arrow's going to split the wickets. There we go. Jig is up, and Sumail gets a 2-man coil off, still waiting on the Ravage. Universe coming in from behind. Fear's there. There's the ulti from Illidan. And behind that, we actually see Universe and PPD hemmed up, as well as AUI. There's going to be the BKB from Mag. And now they're just going to have them on the run. Mag right on top of AUI. PPD sitting at the top of the hill, gets off a Fiend's Grip just as he is about to die anyway. Omni Slash on the Mag does good damage, and he's diffused. Going to try to chase him down, but Fear taking a lot of damage from Illidan. And behind that, we see Phobos actually tracked down by Sumail and Universe as well. So that's going to be a 1 for 3. They're happy to lose Phobos to get those 3 down. And what's buyback status look like? Looks like Fear has it, but there's not going to be any on PPD or on AUI.
Yeah, and just even this Night Stalker is quite tanky. The full ultimate pretty much from the Juggernaut went onto him, and he got swapped at the very end of it, pushed away, so he couldn't get any more auto attacks onto him, and just got trucked after that. And I really think that these team fight items, I was talking about this yesterday, it's so awesome to see, but I haven't been seeing up until this point many support players buying Force Staffs for other people.
Yep.
You see Force Staffs primarily for themselves, but these Force Staffs and just swapping and kind of disrupting the fight and giving each other time is really paid off in dividends. Like Vengeful Spirit has one, the Mirana has one, you have the swap to work with. It's just buying time for more cooldowns, and it's really helping out.
Illidan has his Scotty done. It's on the way to him right now. And we saw just how quickly he chewed through the health of anyone within split shot. And that's just going to get worse and worse. And Scotty is such a good item against Juggernaut in general. I mean, I actually feel like EG's in some real trouble right now.
Well, they do have Sahil O'Neal. I mean, double Ravage can always change a game. And especially when you're like relatively close, but you're scared because their carry is a little bit much stronger. Double Ravage is always something to be scared of. Now, if he dies in the beginning of the fight, I think it's over. I think Universe's hero and just his play is that important to this EG squad. So they have to be pretty careful about keeping him in a safe place, which can be difficult with the Ags up on Night Stalker because they can see everything. So
Smoke out of VP, moving as 5. They're going to go high ground, trying to find a target. They're pinging right where EG is.
Oh, PPD might be in some trouble.
Shadows, and yeah, they're going to go. They found Peter. He's dead, caught with an arrow. Now Universe comes in, gets one Ravage off.
Oh, the
BKBs are already up, though. The play was there, but a little late. Omni Slash helping to clean house, but look at Sumail just absolutely melt. Now it's Fear's turn. Can't spin and you can't run. The nasty old snake lady got something for you. 4 for 2 that time. AUI has to TP out. They're going to take an easy tier 2. And look at this, they're even out damaging the back door at a relatively early time to be doing so. 40 minutes in, they're going to glyph. They should. Roche is going to be up. Yeah, he just spawned. If they decide to fall back and look, say what's buyback, none on the Tide, and it doesn't matter because Ravage would be down anyway.
Exactly. They don't have double Ravage, they can't fight. That's how important Universe is. The fast fingers of both I think it was the Night Stalker and the Zeus with the BKBs. The second he used that BKB and then the Tide came in, he trucked him for like half damage or half HP immediately, just the Zeus. So the Zeus is outputting so much damage, and I got to tell you too, the extra vision that the Axe provides, not to mention the ulti from Zeus, really helps out just to give the information to VP Polar about what's going on.
Definitely a game where vision has benefited them so tremendously. That's going to be an Aegis. And that's going to go on to Illidan. That's also cheese on the ground, as FNG will snag that. And EG could be in some trouble. We can see by leaps and bounds the largest lead of the game. This has just completely gone from a tight one to what looks to be a rout coming down the stretch unless EG can really get it together quickly.
Yeah, and Juggernaut, while he was pretty scary in this, and the item build can be good, at least for getting the mana down quickly onto Medusa. 1, she's just way too big, but 2, he doesn't really feel that scary anymore. His damage output doesn't seem too high. He is essentially the only core on his team that's really doing physical damage. And like I said, with the Night Stalker having the Yags and you can see everything, this means that supports like for example, Bane need to sit really, really far back.
Look at this. Like, Fear can't even get close enough to contest this. And that's with Enfeeble on, by the way. Atos used as well. Enfeeble still has a decent amount of time on it, but still hitting so hard. Universe has 1 Ravage in 10 seconds. The Visage Bird's actually hitting quite hard, but he's going to lose. Oh, good reactions from AUI to keep all of those alive. Illidan's still up front, just letting these abilities bounce off of him. There's going to be the AUI. The Rod of AUI, I should say, used.
There is a Night Stalker ulti up as well, and it really reduces the vision.
Up here comes Universe, went in with the
arrow
Anchor
on
Smash.
Fear.
Got him. There's going to be a coil behind it. Now the BKBs are up, and Fiend's Grip. No, PPD actually, I thought he was going to try to Fiend's Grip to save him, but he was already nightmared. Swap from FNG, they got PPD. Mags up front, taking the damage. And Illidan just pecking away. Behind that, we can see just continuing to harry them as F&G. Another arrow that time off the mark. The rack should end up dropping. One's already down. They're to come. Oh, Illidan with the ulti. AUI caught right in the face. Fear's next. Down he goes. Ravage is going to be there, but guess what? It's all for naught as Universe stands alone. Forstaffs himself to safety. Buyback from Sumail. That allows him to get a kill. But Mag's now on the tail of Universe, who has no mana to begin with. Sumail there to try to help him out. Universe will be able to TP away with the help of a Yules. But Illidan is basically straight farming up in EG's base right now. And he's just going to continue to pack away.
And no buyback on the Jug. Double Ravage used. They can try to maybe just pick off one hero and just delay the push a little bit, but look at him. He does not care. His movement isn't even changing.
Nope.
He's got an Aegis at his disposal. He can buy a full butterfly. He doesn't give two shits in the world. And this will be double racks here against EG. This pick of the Medusa, this last pick is really working out for VP Polar in the late stage of the game.
Yeah, they're trying to get something done against Phobos. Phobos is there, has an ulti in 5 seconds. Nice dodge of the lightning bolt by Sumail right there. Never mind, that did hit him. Mag in the meantime secures another kill. Phobos being hemmed in, gets the ulti off, and Universe actually does manage to survive by the skin of his teeth.
He didn't have mana for his first spell. If he did, it was going to be a kill. That was very close.
Well, it's all for fun and gigs, though, as they lost another set of racks whilst all of that was taking place. Universe still may be caught by Mag. And nope, good micro with the familiars, keeps him alive. Sumail's there, and here comes Fear. Mag going to be forced to burn another BKB charge, only 5-second charge for him, but behind that, Mama's home, and she's got some chores for you. Go to your room, she says, and leave my boys alone.
And yeah, Jug respawns there too and doesn't have the ultimate up because it's still a relatively long cooldown, 110 seconds. No wags to reduce that. There's the full butterfly as I was talking about. And he is in a good position. Still has the Aegis. I'm not quite sure for how long.
Not very long.
But I don't think it matters, Aegis or not. I mean, hell, he might even want the Aegis to go away so he can get a 6-item slot.
Yeah.
Really, at this point.
And Polar, true to form, doesn't look like they are going to squander any time whatsoever. They're going to reset, heal up, and go straight to top lane and look to close this one out.
Yeah, I'm still wondering, though, if the Vlads before the Ags was a mistake. It really feels like once he got Ags, just the extra vision that they were being provided with was just so helpful. I don't know, food for thought. Anyway, this Shadow Blade picked up for the Tidehunter. Kind of a desperation move to get in the best position he can to get that double Ravage off when they don't know it.
And we just heard him use it, I think. Fear just taking so much damage. Look at this. It's being chewed on by Illidan.
They can't go on him with the Aegis, though. So, like, Tide's going to have to go in the backfield. Cannot go on the Medusa. Like, right there. If he has vision of those 3 heroes, I think they just go. But he doesn't have vision of them.
Yeah, we can see he's sitting near the back. There's going to be the Lincolns popped. Healing wards down and right on the Tide. The Aegis is still in his inventory. Atos used. There it is. Aegis is gone now.
Okay.
And we'll see how much that deters them.
I don't know if it will, man.
I don't know why it would.
Up, yeah.
Universe, there we go. Shadow Blade. Oh, this is great opportunity. Is he going to make it in? He will. That's going to be, no, one BKB. One BKB, though, and Universe is hanging on. He actually got silenced. Phobos behind that. BKB up as well. And there's the ulti from Illidan as he's just letting the split shot do the work. Universe trying to do anything he can to save this game, but that last one not going to matter. We do see a Fiend's Grip on the Illidan, but the damage just isn't there. Manta's once it's done, and he may end up dead here. He's eating enough damage. The Enfeeble slowing him down some, but here comes Demon back into the fight. Illidan using that split shot, chews through all the birds. AUI does manage to get a double kill by the time all is said and done, making a triple kill for Owie. And let's see if Phobos and Illidan can clean up house. Not Phobos, Illidan though, very large. And Sumail has to run alone.
Oh, no.
Got hung up behind Fear. Everyone's low from EG. Only Medusa stands, but they can't engage on her.
And they're losing tier 4s in the mid, too. We saw the last game that we just cast due to the throw being killed when no one was watching. And there's a Monkey King bar picked up for the Juggernaut. And it was actually a very nice fight, very nice start for EG. Just too much farm on the side of VP Polar.
20,000 gold, and yeah, how about a whole heap? There's a whole heap of difference in the stats. As Polar ended up losing a few there, but I guess EG did defend their tier 3 and their racks, but like you said, they gave up a handful of tier 4s and half health on their Ancient. It wouldn't shock me at all to see Polar, once they respawn, just run at the Ancient.
Yeah, they have options for sure. I mean, they can even just stall out in mid. Because
Rapier!
Oh, boy. YOLO mode, as he doesn't even have an Aegis, doesn't even care. Won't have buyback if he dies at this point, but we'll see, man. That's a little crazy. I mean, Jug could pack a punch with the Rapier, but I don't imagine him dying anytime soon. So, well, you got to respect his balls, right?
At this point, this is just Illidan Storm Rage. This is how he plays. It doesn't surprise me. And I mean, what the hell is EG gonna do? Like, they can't even come out of the base. Like, they've lost tier 4s. They've got Megas ramming down their throats, mid and bottom. And yeah, there you go. Game plan drawn. Well called. Like it, FNG. Let's see it, homie.
Yep, well, they can use the Potom ult to start it out. I think they still have a gem, though, on the side. Yeah, Visage bought a gem. So no more shenanigans with the Potom ulti, which has been very effective this game so far. They put up a ward up top. They see the ward. Should have had a gem a long time ago with Mag having the Aghanim Scepter, but they have it now.
Illidan's pretty chubby. He's sitting at 31 net worth. He's a full 10K ahead. And up, hang on, FNG come behind. Now Illidan just doing work. And we can look at AUI. Poor guy. And there's going to be the most impotent, sad little Omni Slash I think I've seen in a long time as Fear dies immediately afterwards, and GG. Illidan and company. I think that Polar and everyone else should just adopt a new slogan for Illidan. Let your boy eat! Because when he does, it tends to have a happy result. As EG drops game 1 and Polar moves now just one game win away from meeting LV Gaming in our grand finals. EG fighting for their lives next. And let's take a look at our key performers. 10, 3, and 8 on Illidan, 747 GPM. A meager 657 XP per minute based on his animation performance. Not hot, not awesome, but as jokes aside, excellent game for him. Mag actually really did well on the Night Stalker. I'm really impressed with how well he played. 8-2 and 8, he finished up.
I mean, they won that lane. I feel like that was a lane that they should not have won. I think they focused too much on the pulls. I think that Visage and Bane with lots of right clicks, and if you just had the double nuke level 3 for Bane, same thing with Visage, you should be able to win that lane. Vengeful Spirit has a low attack range. Obviously, the melee hero of Night Stalker. Now, Night Stalker is pretty tanky in his own right, so that could be a little bit of a reason why they wanted to just do more pulls. But FNG and Demon, I mean, Demon really set up tons of kills all over the place with some arrows, setting up first split on Sumail, doing it once again on the Visage bottom lane, just running around the map and finding his presence known. FNG, same thing with the 4 staffs from both players, was just really effective in keeping their own cores alive long enough to, like I said, reset cooldowns and things like that.
Well, a lot of where Polar seems to find their success is extending the game. They get behind, but then in those clutch moments when they have to have a play, when the game hangs in the balance, when you're right at that tipping point where maybe it's going to explode on the other side, they just always seem to find what they need. And speaking of finding what they need, they found the ringer they need as Demon has continued to shine all throughout this tournament. That's game 1, guys. Game 2's coming up next. I'm AC, and that's